Hey y'all, in this lesson, we're going to learn how to use trig functions to find the area of a triangle when the height is not given. If you remember from geometry, to find the area of a triangle, we use 1/2 of the base times the height. And in some cases, you're not given the height, so we can use trig functions to help us find that. I have an example down here where I've got triangle ABC. We're given one angle. This is not a right triangle, and we're given two sides. So what you can do is you can place a height in there, place an altitude in there with one angle and one side. So I'm going to use angle A and I'm going to drop an altitude to the opposite side. And this forms a right angle with the now base. And I can use this smaller triangle and trig functions to help me find the length of this height that I made. So if I'm given angle B and I have the hypotenuse of this smaller triangle, remember we're just focusing on the smaller triangle here. I'm given the hypotenuse and I have the opposite. Now I labeled that H, so it's like, that's confusing. But for the smaller triangle, that is the opposite side of the angle 82. And 8 is the hypotenuse because it's across from the right angle for the smaller triangle. So I can find that height using sine 82 equals opposite over hypotenuse, which in this case, the way I labeled it would be H over 8. Now, if you want to label that with opposite instead, that's totally fine. You can use whatever variable you want. But if I do some simplifying, that's going to become H equals 8 sine 82. I'm going to go ahead and just leave it in exact form for the next, because of the next step. So if we want to find the area of the larger triangle, we're going to use 1/2 base times height. Now I found the height to be 8 sine 82. So I'm going to use that whole thing in place of height. And then the base is 13. So we have area equals 1/2 the base times the height. And this brings me to the formula that we have for area of a triangle that we can use every time we have a side angle side situation. And this formula is 1/2 the product of the two sides given times sine of the angle given. And what I found up here follows that. 1/2 the product of the two sides given times the sine of the angle given. So you don't even really have to do all this back work, the scratch work. You can just use this formula every time. So let's pretend like I didn't do all that. Let's erase all this. And let's pretend like I just have side angle side and I'm trying to find the area. To do that, I just use my formula. Area equals 1/2 the product of the two sides times sine of the angle. And then that would be the exact solution, or you can type that in and get the approximate solution. Make sure that when you type this into your calculator that you are in degree mode. And when you type that in, you should get about 51.5. We're talking about area, so this would be units squared. I don't have units on this triangle, so I just did units. Could be feet squared, inches squared, whatever. So that is how you find the area of side angle side triangle. That's all I have for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.